In this video, let's discuss the power of letting go. Before we go into the power of letting go, let's look at how unnatural it is to hold on to things in life. See, life is a constant flow. It's change all the time. The only thing consistent in life is change. So things are changing all the time in our lives. Our body's changing. Our relationships are changing. Your career, your job might be changing. The weather's changing. Your possessions, they're changing. The home is changing. The property, everything is changing. We have this idea that we can actually hold on to things, but we have to look at the truth that everything that we experience is impermanent, meaning it's changing. And that's the truth. That is life. Life is change. So you can see the problem. This is very unnatural to try and stop that change because we can't stop the change. It's inevitable. There's nothing that we can do to stop the change of life. But we try. We try and prevent our bodies from changing, right? We want to hold on to our youth. We want to hold on to our body when we're 25, 28 years old, and we don't want the body to continue to age. That's holding on. It's holding on to a body that's 25 years of age. It's holding on to the self-image of yourself when you're 25 or 28. That's holding on to something. So you see, there's lots of things, too many to list in this video, that we hold on to. We hold on to beliefs. We hold on to ideas. We hold on to concepts. We hold on to identities. We hold on to people. We hold on to positions. We hold on to our career. We hold on to our material possessions. We hold on to so many things in life. But when we actually look at it, when we look at the truth that everything that we experience is impermanent, think about anything in your life and you'll see that it's changing, that nothing really stays the same. But holding on to something is really us holding on to something and wanting to stay the same. We want to hold on to our kids. We don't want them to grow up. We were holding on to perhaps our kids before they go to university. We don't want to let them go. We're holding on to a relationship. We don't want to break up with them. We're holding on to a job. We don't want to lose our job. We're holding on to clients. We don't want to lose the clients. We're holding on to our home. We don't want to move. We're holding on to so many things. But once we look at it and see how unnatural it is, then we start seeing that when we hold on, we're actually suffering because we want things to stay the same. But reality, when we look at life, the nature of life is that life is always changing. So you can see that this creates a lot of unhappiness for me if I'm constantly wanting things to be the same. I want to let me just hold on to this moment more. I can't hold on to it. After this moment, there's another moment. It's just a constant stream of now, which is always changing. The river of life is always flowing. And I can't, whatever I try and do and stop the flow and hold on to the water, it's just constantly flowing. It's flowing through my hands. But it's the idea that I can hold on to things that's creating unhappiness for me. So now we see how powerful it is to let go, because the more we let go, the more happiness we experience. The more we let go, the more we're not mentally stuck. See, when I'm holding on to something in the river of life, I'm stuck. I'm holding on to something. It's like me holding on to this desk. I'm not free from the desk. I'm stuck to the desk. Whatever I hold on to, essentially it enslaves me. I'm holding on to things. Things aren't holding on to me. Whatever I hold on to then becomes my limitation. If I hold on to this desk, I'm limited to where the desk is. This desk can't fit out the door. It's a limitation. If I want to go out the door, I have to go without the desk. But if I insist on holding on to the desk, then you can see it's a limitation. It's limiting my freedom. I want to walk out the door. But as long as I insist on holding on to the desk, I can't walk out the door. So this is happening in all areas of our lives. This holding on. And the more aware we become of what we're holding on to, and we start seeing it through this lens of truth to see that it's unnatural, that it's not reality. Reality is that everything is changing. Every experience is different. But when I try and hold on to something, I'm trying to recreate the same experience. I'm trying to hold on to something. I'm trying to preserve the moment. I can't preserve the moment. And it's this effort of trying to hold on to things. I'm trying to hold on to something. It's stressful. It's tiring. It's exhausting. Listen to what people are saying about life. They're so tired. They're so exhausted. They're so stressed. What's more stressful, holding on to something or just being free of it? Being free of it is stress-free. But if I'm holding on to this desk for dear life, it's stressful. So you can see that a lot of the stress that we create for ourselves comes from holding on to things, mentally holding on to things. Because where are you experiencing most of your stress? When people say, I'm so stressed, they're saying mentally they're stressed. It's not like everyone's running a marathon every day where they're physically stressed that way. They're mentally stressed. They're holding on to things. Things that you might not even think of. Things that you're not aware of. Like holding on to expectations. If I'm holding on to expectations, then I have an idea of how things should go. Like I can predict the future. I'm going to expect this to happen, and I'm holding on to the expectation. And then when life shows up different than my expectation, I'm unhappy. And what do I want? Well, I want what I expected. But life is here and now, and it's this. And I keep on referring to my expectations that I'm holding on to. Well, here's what I expected. Oh, that's not what happened. I'm so unhappy. I'm unhappy. Now I get angry. Now I get frustrated. Now I get irritated. Now I want to change this life to make it more like my expectation. And wanting something different in life than what is already here is called unhappiness. If I'm okay with what's here, I'm happy. So if I can just make myself okay by letting go of those things, you find yourself happy. Unconditional happiness. Happiness that it doesn't depend on any condition. See, it's the condition that I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to conditions, which is then me placing a condition on my happiness. I can only be happy when. I can only be happy if. If and when are words that then I'm going to put a condition right after that. I can only be happy when I have $1 million in the bank. I can only be happy if I have a beautiful wife and 4 kids and a nice home and a cottage and a boat. And see, it goes on. Those are conditions. If I let go of those conditions, I find that I'm just happy. So that we can see how powerful letting go is. You find that the more you let go, the more you grow. It's very counterintuitive because you would think the way the mind works, the more I add on to myself, the more I'm growing. But that's kind of the mode of the ego, because the ego wants to build itself up. A bigger identity, wants to work up levels in positions, better positions, more friends, better friends, more money, more things, more materials, more properties. It's building itself up. But that actually becomes very limited. Because as much as I'm holding on, when I'm holding on to those things, I become so identified with them. And if I'm identified with things that are finite, if I'm identified with things that are coming and going, it's a huge limitation. Because what you actually are, your true nature, is limitless. So when we identify ourselves with something that's limited, it's unnatural and we suffer. We're unhappy. We're not free. So we can look at how powerful letting go is. And it's very powerful when it's basically your way of life, where you're letting go. You're in this constant state of letting go. And when you're in this constant state of letting go, you're simply flowing. You're flowing because you're not holding on to things. When you hold on to things, you feel stuck in life. When you're not holding on to things, you're flowing with life, as life. You're in the flow of life. What do people say? I want to get in the flow. I want to get in the zone. The zone and flow state are synonymous. I want to get in the zone. I want to enter the flow state. I want to be in more flow. No one says I want to be stuck in life. Listen to people. They're saying, how do I get unstuck? How do I get out of my own way? They're saying, how do I get out of my own way? Because they're seeing that they're getting in the way. They're in the way. Now they're stuck. They're an obstacle. I'm pointing at one of the obstacles. One of the obstacles is me holding on to things. So simply, if I become aware of what I'm holding on to, and then I have the courage to let go of it, I find myself lighter. Makes sense, right? If I'm holding on to something heavy, if I'm holding on to this plant, no problem for 5 minutes, but I don't know, 5 hours, something as light as that starts feeling pretty heavy. So imagine how that's one thing that I'm holding on to. Imagine if I'm holding on to 10 things. Those things that I'm holding on to are really weighing me down. Ask yourself, do you want to feel light or do you want to feel heavy? Do we really want to be attached to things? If I'm attached to anything, I'm not free. Something that's free is not attached to anything. It's not holding on to things. If I have a kite and I'm flying a kite in the sky and I attach that kite, the handle, to a railing, you look at the sky, the kite in the sky, and you say, wow, that kite looks free. Look at it. It's just flying around in the sky. But it's not really free because it's holding on to the rail. It's attached to the railing. So that railing, that attachment to the railing, limits the kite's freedom. It can only fly a certain distance. It can only move around. Its movement is limited by what it's holding on to. In this case, the kite is holding on to the railing. So when we look at those things in our life that we're holding on to as limitations, you ask yourself, do you want to be limited or do you want to be limitless? Then it becomes more clear. Whatever you're holding on to is a huge limitation. And it's the opposite of what you want, because you want to be limitless. But then you're holding on to 20 different things, which then make you limited. So now you're kind of at war within yourself. You're in conflict. You want this, but this is the opposite. It's contradicting what you want. We want to be limitless, but we keep on holding on to things. In fact, we continue to hold on to more things. If you want to go to the top of the mountain, do you want to bring everything that you own? Or do you want to travel light? Same sort of thing. To make it to the top, we're going to have to let go of things, because everything that we're holding on to weighs us down. When I'm holding on to so many things, I'm so stressed. I'm under pressure. I'm weighing myself down. I feel so small, contracted, dense, heavy. This is not how I want to feel. I want to feel open, expansive, light, stress-free, movable, fluid, flexible. I'm not flexible when I'm attached to things. When I'm holding on to things, I'm not flexible. I'm stuck. So this is pointing out the power of letting go. Because if you really want more flow in life, then we have to let go. At some point, we are going to have to let go, because of the truth that everything in life is always changing. Everything in your life is impermanent. But we have an idea that we can preserve things, that we can make things permanent. Everything that's in our existence is bound to time. There's a start and an end of it. And that process between the start and the end is constant change. So once we see it like this very clearly, then you can see it's very foolish to try and hold on to things. What's the point of holding on to things? There's no real point to holding on to things, when the truth is that we can't really hold on to things, because things are always changing. So when we start seeing that when we hold on to things, it creates unhappiness for us, then you start really understanding how powerful letting go is. Because the more you let go, the happier you'll be.